Everyone here has become like my family, so I really don't want to say goodbye to anyone.
Suddenly Amish Bombshell. Is the Amish house really an Airbnb? When Suddenly Amish premiered on TLC, it arrived with bold promises and an even bolder premise. Marketed as a rare, intimate look into Amish life and the emotional crossroads faced by young people navigating tradition versus modernity, the series positioned itself as both a cultural exploration and a personal journey. Almost immediately, however, those promises were met with skepticism. Within weeks of the show's debut, online forums, social media threads, and fan communities began questioning not only the authenticity of the cast's experiences, but also the legitimacy of the very environment in which the show was filmed. At the center of the growing controversy is a claim that has rapidly gained traction. The house where cast members stayed during filming in Lancaster County may not be an Amish home at all, but a vacation rental listed as an Airbnb. What began as quiet suspicion has now evolved into a full-blown debate about reality television ethics, cultural representation, and where the line is drawn between storytelling and deception. This article examines the allegations, the evidence fans have uncovered, and why the Airbnb revelation has struck such a nerve with viewers. A show that promised authenticity. From its earliest promotional materials, Suddenly Amish framed itself as something different from typical reality programming. TLC emphasized emotional honesty, cultural respect, and personal transformation. The show follows young adults raised in or adjacent to Amish communities as they confront questions about faith, family, independence, and identity. Cameras document their attempts to understand life beyond rigid traditions, while also grappling with the consequences such exploration may bring. For many viewers, the appeal was obvious. Amish communities are famously private, and access to daily life is rare. The idea that individuals with authentic Amish backgrounds were voluntarily sharing their struggles created expectations of realism and sincerity. Yet, even before the premiere, some fans expressed doubt. Amish culture is rooted in humility, separation from modern technology, and resistance to media exposure. The idea that a camera crew could embed itself so seamlessly raised immediate red flags. Early viewer doubts and structural questions. As episodes aired, attentive viewers began noticing inconsistencies that seemed at odds with Amish norms. The show's setup featured cast members living together in a shared house while exploring independence. The series described this residence as a meaningful space connected to one of the cast members, often referred to as her house. However, viewers struggled to reconcile this narrative with what they understood about Amish property ownership and communal living. Why would a single young woman own a house suitable for hosting multiple people? Why did the interior appear more modern than expected? Why did the environment feel curated rather than lived in? These questions lingered, but without concrete proof, they remained speculation. The Airbnb claim that changed everything. The conversation shifted dramatically when a local individual, claiming proximity to the filming location, shared behind-the-scenes information that ignited widespread scrutiny. According to this source, the house used during filming was not an Amish family home at all, but a vacation rental commonly used by tourists visiting Lancaster County. The source stated, "I actually live a few minutes from where this was filmed and discovered the house they are staying at is a vacation rental. There's a full bathroom in the house as well. A lot of what they're doing is for the cameras, sadly. But that's Hollywood, baby." While casual in tone, the statement carried weight. Lancaster County residents are often familiar with short-term rentals, especially in areas popular with visitors interested in Amish culture. The suggestion that the production rented a property rather than filming in an authentic Amish home immediately resonated with viewers who had already harbored doubts. Why the bathroom detail matters. One seemingly minor detail, the presence of a full modern bathroom, has become central to the debate. Traditional Amish homes typically do not feature modern plumbing, electricity, or contemporary fixtures. While some Amish communities vary in strictness, indoor bathrooms with modern amenities remain uncommon, especially in homes associated with conservative practices. Viewers rewatched episodes with new eyes, paying close attention to background shots, lighting, fixtures, and layout. What they saw only fueled suspicion. Polished interiors lacking signs of long-term family life. Modern design choices inconsistent with Amish simplicity. Clean, neutral spaces resembling short-term rentals rather than personal homes. For fans familiar with Airbnb properties in tourist-heavy Amish regions, the resemblance felt unmistakable. Background clues fans could not ignore. As the Airbnb theory gained momentum, fans began cataloging additional details that seemed out of place. Vehicles in the background. Several scenes appeared to include cars parked nearby, vehicles that did not align with Amish transportation practices. While some argued these could belong to production staff, others noted how frequently they appeared within the filming environment. Camera angles and blocking. Viewers noticed how scenes were staged in ways that suggested intentional framing rather than organic movement. Rooms were often shot from angles typical of reality show rentals, where crews have freedom to position equipment without disrupting family life. Lack of personal artifacts. Authentic Amish homes often contain handmade furniture, religious texts, and signs of multi-generational living. The house featured in Suddenly Amish appeared sparse, neutral, and generic, qualities associated with rental properties designed for flexibility. The Emma question and identity confusion. Much of the scrutiny has centered on Emma, one of the most visible cast members. Throughout the season, Emma has been shown wearing modern clothing, makeup, and hairstyles that diverge sharply from traditional Amish dress codes. While the show frames this as part of her personal exploration, fans argue that her presentation complicates the show's authenticity claims. Some viewers question whether Emma was ever fully Amish or whether her background was selectively portrayed to enhance the show's narrative. Her comfort in front of cameras, familiarity with modern aesthetics, and ease navigating public attention have led skeptics to believe her identity may be more complex than initially presented. This ambiguity, combined with the alleged Airbnb setting, has led some fans to label the series as performative rather than documentary. The Her House storyline that fell apart. One of the most cited continuity issues involves how the house was described early in the season. The show repeatedly referred to the residents as belonging to Emma. When another cast member, James, arrived from a different community, it was explained that he stayed there because it was her house. Later, when Emma left the show, the narrative suddenly shifted. The house remained central, yet the logic behind its ownership was never revisited. A fan summarized the confusion succinctly. When Emma left, it never made sense that from the beginning it was called her house. James was supposedly staying at her house because he came from another community. So when she left her house, it seemed so odd, like they never accounted for us remembering this little detail. For many viewers, this was the moment when the show's internal logic collapsed. Reality TV production realities. To be fair, Suddenly Amish is not unique in facing such accusations. Reality television has long operated in a gray area between authenticity and production necessity. Common industry practices include renting houses for logistical convenience, recreating real environments in controlled spaces, encouraging cast members to reenact moments for clarity. From a production standpoint, filming in a true Amish home would present enormous challenges, from electrical restrictions to privacy concerns. Renting a neutral property allows crews to work efficiently while maintaining narrative control. However, the controversy arises not from the use of a rental itself, but from the implication that viewers were led to believe the setting was authentic. Cultural representation and viewer trust. The backlash against Suddenly Amish reflects a deeper issue: trust. Amish communities have historically been portrayed inaccurately or sensationalized by mainstream media. When a show promises respectful representation, viewers expect transparency. For many fans, the Airbnb revelation feels less like a harmless production choice and more like a betrayal of the show's core premise. If the environment is staged, viewers ask, how much of the emotional conflict is genuine? How many conversations are guided or scripted? Are cast members portraying real struggles or fulfilling character arcs? Once doubt enters the equation, every scene becomes suspect. Online reaction and growing backlash. Across social media platforms, fan sentiment has shifted noticeably. Early enthusiasm has given way to frustration, with some viewers accusing the show of exploiting Amish culture for entertainment while offering little genuine insight. Others defend the series, arguing that emotional journeys can still be real even if settings are controlled. Still, the volume of criticism has been impossible to ignore. The Airbnb claim has become shorthand for everything viewers feel is wrong with the show. Silence from the network and production. As of now, neither TLC nor the production team behind Suddenly Amish has issued a formal response addressing the Airbnb allegations. This silence has only intensified speculation. For some fans, the lack of clarification suggests avoidance. For others, it reflects standard network practice when faced with online controversy. Without official confirmation or denial, viewers are left to draw their own conclusions. What this means for Suddenly Amish going forward. The success of reality television depends heavily on audience trust. Once that trust is compromised, even compelling storytelling can struggle to maintain credibility. If Suddenly Amish continues without addressing these concerns, it risks alienating viewers who tuned in expecting authenticity. On the other hand, acknowledging production realities openly could allow the show to recalibrate expectations and refocus on personal narratives rather than environmental realism. The controversy may ultimately determine whether the series evolves or fades under the weight of skepticism. Final thoughts: reality, representation, and responsibility. The question of whether the Suddenly Amish house was truly an Airbnb may seem trivial on the surface. But for viewers invested in cultural accuracy and ethical storytelling, it represents something far more significant. It speaks to how reality television balances storytelling with truth and how easily that balance can tip into manipulation. As audiences grow more media savvy, they are increasingly capable of spotting inconsistencies and questioning narratives. Suddenly Amish now stands as a case study in what happens when promised authenticity collides with production convenience. Whether viewers continue watching or walk away may depend on how much reality they believe remains behind the cameras. Suddenly Amish, is the house really an Airbnb? The controversy explained. TLC's newest reality series, Suddenly Amish, has been stirring up quite the storm online, and fans are not holding back with their opinions. The show promised viewers an authentic look at Amish life, with cast members ditching their modern conveniences and attempting to fully immerse themselves in a world without technology, fancy clothing, or the comforts they are used to. Sounds compelling, right? Well, not everyone is buying it, and a recent revelation about the home featured on the show has people talking more than ever. So what exactly is going on with Suddenly Amish, and is any of it actually real? Let's break it all down. The show's premise had doubters from day one. From the moment TLC announced Suddenly Amish, skeptics were already lining up. The premise centers on outsiders, often called English, in Amish culture, living alongside Amish host families and experiencing their way of life firsthand. Cast members give up their phones, their social media, their modern wardrobes, and much of what defines their everyday existence in exchange for a simpler, faith-driven lifestyle. It sounds like a fascinating social experiment. But here is the problem that viewers kept coming back to: the Amish do not do this. The entire foundation of Amish life is separation from the outside world. They do not invite cameras into their homes. They do not sign release forms. They do not participate in television productions. For many viewers, the very idea that a genuine Amish family would open their doors to a TLC film crew was a red flag before a single episode even aired. Despite those early concerns, the show moved forward and people tuned in. But the questions never really went away. And now, things have gotten a whole lot more interesting. The Airbnb bombshell. Here is where things take a sharp turn. A local source, someone who claims to live just minutes away from where Suddenly Amish was filmed in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, came forward with a pretty jaw-dropping claim. According to this person, the house that has been central to the show is not an Amish family home at all. It is reportedly a vacation rental, as in, a property available for booking on Airbnb. If that is accurate, the implications are massive. A vacation rental is a commercial property. It is designed to be comfortable and accommodating for paying guests. It comes equipped with modern amenities, and yes, according to the source, that includes a full bathroom. That is a detail that matters quite a bit when you are talking about a show supposedly set in an authentic Amish environment, because traditional Amish homes, particularly in more conservative communities, do not typically feature the kind of modern plumbing you would find in a property listed on a vacation booking platform. The source did not mince words about what they believe is happening. A lot of what viewers are seeing is being done for the cameras. They acknowledged it with the kind of weary matter-of-factness that comes from living near a filming location and knowing what is actually going on behind the scenes. That's Hollywood, baby, they added, and honestly, it is hard to argue with that energy. Emma is at the center of it all. One of the biggest names generating buzz on Suddenly Amish is Emma, who has become a focal point for both the show's storyline and the authenticity debate swirling around it. Viewers have noticed that Emma has been spotted in regular clothing and wearing makeup, two things that are very much not part of the Amish lifestyle that the show is supposed to be documenting. That alone raised eyebrows, but the situation gets even more layered. From the start of the series, the house where cast members, including James, were staying was referred to as Emma's house. At the time, it was a little odd but easy enough to overlook. Then Emma left the show. And suddenly that framing made absolutely no sense. Fans online were quick to point this out. If it was Emma's house and she was gone, what did that mean for everyone else still living there? The show never really addressed it, and the inconsistencies stuck out like a sore thumb. One fan put it plainly, the show called it her house from the very beginning. James was supposedly staying there because he came from another community, and when Emma left, the whole setup just fell apart logically. They noted it seemed like the producers never accounted for viewers actually remembering that detail. With the vacation rental claim now in the mix, that confusion makes a lot more sense. If the house is an Airbnb that was rented out for production purposes, of course the language around it would be vague and inconsistent. It was never really anyone's house. It was just a rental. Red flags viewers have been spotting. The Airbnb claim did not come out of nowhere. Observant viewers had already been cataloging details that did not quite add up throughout the season. Cars visible in the background of outdoor scenes were one thing people pointed to early on. That might sound minor, but when you are watching a show that is supposed to be set within an Amish community, where modern vehicles are famously absent, spotting a regular car casually hanging out in the background pulls you right out of the experience. The full bathroom detail also matters quite a bit in context. Part of what makes the Amish lifestyle genuinely challenging for outsiders is the absence of modern plumbing and convenience. If cast members are staying in a property with a full, modern bathroom, that fundamentally changes the nature of the experience being presented on screen. Emma's appearance issues, the modern clothing, the visible makeup fit into this pattern as well. If the environment itself is not authentically Amish, it makes sense that the cast members living in it would not be held to the full standards of Amish life either. Everything starts to feel like a production approximation of the real thing rather than the real thing itself. This is not TLC's first rodeo with Amish controversy. Longtime TLC viewers will remember that Suddenly Amish is far from the first time the network has faced questions about authenticity in its Amish-themed programming. Breaking Amish, which premiered back in 2012, ran into serious trouble when it came out that cast members had considerably more exposure to the outside world prior to filming than the show's narrative suggested. The entire premise of that series, Amish people encountering modernity for the first time, turned out to be far more complicated and less clean than viewers were led to believe. That controversy did not kill Breaking Amish. It ran for multiple seasons and spawned a spin-off. But it left a mark on how audiences approach this type of content. Viewers who remember those earlier controversies come into Suddenly Amish already primed to ask questions, already watching with one eyebrow raised. The network has, in some ways, made its own bed here. What TLC has said, or rather, has not said. As of right now, TLC has not issued any public statement addressing the Airbnb claims or the broader authenticity questions surrounding Suddenly Amish. There has been no denial, no explanation, and no acknowledgement that the conversation is even happening. That silence is telling. If the vacation rental claim were simply false, the easiest and most effective response would be to say so clearly. The fact that the network has not done that does not prove anything definitively, but it absolutely gives skeptics room to draw their own conclusions, and they are. The cast members, for their part, have maintained that their experiences on the show were genuine and meaningful. That is not necessarily inconsistent with some of what is being alleged. You can have an authentic personal journey and still be staying in an Airbnb. Those two things can coexist. But what cannot coexist is the show presenting itself as an unfiltered documentary look at real Amish life while filming in a commercially available vacation rental and allowing cast members to drift in and out of Amish presentation, depending on weather. The cameras are pointed at them. Fans are fired up and not letting this go. The online reaction to all of this has been intense. The Suddenly Amish fan community, which, it should be said, includes people who genuinely enjoy the show and do not particularly want it to be fake, has been pulled into a full-scale authenticity debate that shows no sign of dying down. For the skeptics, the Airbnb revelation feels like the confirmation they have been waiting for. For viewers who gave the show the benefit of the doubt, it has prompted some real soul-searching about what exactly they have been investing their time and emotional energy in. And for the particularly detail-oriented fans who caught the Emma's house inconsistency early on, there is a certain grim satisfaction in seeing their suspicions validated in such a concrete way. What makes this moment different from previous reality TV authenticity controversies is how specific it is. This is not just a vague sense that something feels off. This is a named location, a specific type of property, and a concrete claim from someone with local knowledge. That specificity makes it much harder to dismiss. Does any of this make the show worth watching? Here is the honest answer. That depends entirely on what you are watching it for. If you tuned into Suddenly Amish because you genuinely wanted to learn about Amish life and culture, and you believed the show was providing an accurate window into that world, then yes, the current controversy should give you serious pause. The show may not be delivering what it promised you. If you are watching because you enjoy the cast dynamics, the interpersonal drama, and the entertainment value of watching people navigate a very different set of rules and expectations, then the Airbnb question is less about your experience. Reality television has always been produced and shaped in ways that blur the line between documentary and drama. That is not a secret, and enjoying the ride does not make you naive. What viewers deserve, regardless of why they are watching, is honesty. TLC built Suddenly Amish on the promise of authenticity. The least the network owes its audience is a straightforward conversation about what that actually means in the context of this production. The bottom line: Suddenly Amish set out to give viewers something rare and compelling, genuine access to a world that rarely opens itself up to outside observers. Whether it has delivered on that promise is now very much in question. The Airbnb claim has not been officially confirmed, but it has also not been denied. The inconsistencies that viewers have identified are real, documented, and accumulating. And TLC's silence on the matter is not doing the show any favors. What we know for certain is this: the audience is paying attention, they are asking hard questions, and they are not going to stop asking them. In the age of social media and eagle-eyed fan communities, the days when a network could hope a controversy would simply fade away are long gone. Stay locked in for more Suddenly Amish updates, spoilers, and recaps as the season continues. There is clearly a lot more story left to tell, both on screen and off it.